Okay, this is lecture 2 in ExcelD charts. So we've talked about planning a chart. Now we're going to look at creating a chart. And in order to create a chart, you need to understand and select a range within your table, that your spreadsheet, that's going to be what you're going to generate the chart from. And then use the buttons on the Insert tab that's on your ribbon to create the chart and modify the chart. So you've got sizing handles that indicate the chart that's being selected. An embedded chart's one that's inserted directly in the current worksheet. And then a chart sheet is one that you actually create a chart by itself, which is linked to data in a workbook. So to create a chart, you're going to go into your Insert tab, and it gives you a bunch of choices on what you can do. You've got the Undo button. That's always an important button to know. But you want to change your chart elements. You may want to change the style and color schemes. You may want to filter the results. You may want to switch the row and column button into different orientations. And the chart placeholder is basically the square where the chart sits. So let's go to an existing spreadsheet and see what we can do about creating a chart. Okay, so we have this chart. It's one of the Excel worksheets that you're going to work with in the practice exercises as you go through the tutorial. And we're going to look about building, we're going to see about inserting a chart for these 6 projects and the results of the sales for each quarter. So the recommended charts that the software itself shows us is this is a chart just like the one we were looking at a minute ago in planning a chart. It's a bar chart where each quarter is a different color, and this is the total sales. So your bottom is projects 1 through 6. It's your series or categories, and then the values on the left are the value chart, in other words, the sales. There's you could make a different type of chart. You could make this line chart that would show the different quarter sales by colors, by the lines. The third quarter sales, looks like third quarter sales and for project 5 jumped dramatically up. It shows here on the bar chart, but it even looks more dramatic in this line chart. Now here is a stacked column that shows the sales for each grouping stacked on each other. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Hopefully your sales are increasing each time. So the total is made of the parts of the 4 different charts here, the 4 different quarters. So it's basically stacking up the sales for the year and how much each part of the year's sales was for each quarter. And again, this shows project 5, the green quarter, or the quarter 3 was the largest segment of the year's sales. You've got one here where you're actually flipping your axis. You're using the rows and columns opposite, and it shows the chart where you've got the projects on the left-hand side and you have the values on the bottom. Exactly why this would definitely be to advantage, I'm not exactly sure. Here's a chart where it's a stacked chart with combined with kind of like the lines before but filled in. You've got this stacked chart that's got the axes flipped. And then this is a scatter chart to show different values for the different quarters. And you've got quarter 1 and quarter 2 charted out here. So I think for this chart, the one that I like the most would be either this one or I like the stack chart. So let's go with the standard clustered column chart for each product. Now, since this screen is so small where we're recording, I'm probably going to need to expand this and show you. But basically, this put the chart right on top of the data. Now you can adjust the chart. Let me expand this up out of the window a little bit. You see these handles in the corner. You can shrink and expand the chart accordingly. You can grab the chart with the four diagonal arrows and actually drag it. You've got these buttons over here where you can actually select to change the chart elements. You can actually change the styles and colors. You can actually change the values and the names for the series too. If you'd like to do that, you actually double click on the chart to change the chart title. I'll close that window out because it's getting in the way. You'd actually project expenses is the exact name of this worksheet. So we're going to call that's what the chart is. And say you were going to give this to a boss or a group of co-workers to show them the projected expenses for the quarter, and this wasn't profit, this was expenses. This would be a very good chart to use in conjunction with the data here. You could print out both items on a worksheet, on a spreadsheet to hand out in a meeting, and it would show your graphic representation of the expenses and also the actual numbers so people could see exactly what the numbers were. Okay, the next slides talk about moving and resizing a chart. We've already gone through that. An object's an independent element on a worksheet. That would be what your chart would be, and moving it doesn't affect the formula, the data, or the chart layout. It just moves it to a different spot. It allows you to adjust the width of it. We showed you just a minute ago that I didn't like the way the columns were stacked up, so I stretched the chart a little bit to the right so it would open it up a little bit more and make it easier to see each quarter. So moving and resizing a chart is simple. It's just basically a drag and drop and using the handles to stretch and shrink the chart itself.